Okay, this is the first of um, three cabins I was thinking of setting up here. This is the largest of the three cabins, so it would sit on top of a hill on virtually on a plateau. Uh, so you drive up a steep driveway into the carport, and then in front of the car on the left there's an entrance. You'd walk through that entrance to get into the house. I'll give you a bit of an overview now and spin it around. Actually, I'll give you an aerial shot first. So basically it's a box. It's square, 8 by 8, a bit over 8 by 8 meters, with an almost same size patio at the front that was surrounded by those columns that you had, and then a carport off on the side. Go back to it. So the aspect is north facing, down the valley, down the trees, the olive trees and all of that. The columns, I wasn't sure whether to arch them like I've done here, or whether that's too much, or even indeed if the columns are too much, it should be simplified. But the idea was to sort of have the most dramatic impact um, that's kind of cost effective. On the east side now, you're looking at three long, narrow windows. They've got to be fairly narrow because in the east up here it gets really hot in summer, so I wanted to minimize that. Let the morning sun in, but not too much of the heat. And then as I turn around, all of those windows are shuttered for fire rating. You have to have shutters on them. On the south side now, which is where the worst wind comes from, no windows apart from a small bathroom window, plus there'd be water tanks and other utilities. And as I said, it's cut into the hill, so you wouldn't see much there. As we come around to the west side, I wanted to protect the house from the westerly sun, which is the hottest sun. So hence the carport there that serves that purpose, but also to house the solar panels, which I didn't want them visible because I kind of think they're ugly. So I've kind of raised the arch or the wall above the arch there for that specific purpose. Now, so that's your sort of aspect. So as I said, the main thing that I'm not sure on, do those columns, they're a bit too much, obviously Romanesque, um, but do they clutter the view, or do they actually make enough of a point of difference for people who want to travel all this way to come up here? Now, look at the floor plan. Basically, it's 8 by 8 meters if we, for the whole thing, roughly 8 point, what is it? 8.3. Just made up, so I'll walk you through it. We walk in here through into a mud room. Again, the idea of the mud room, because there's a lot of dust and mud here, the better the chance that we can get customers to walk through and use this, the less chance that they'll dirty the place. So it's easy to clean and maintain. Walk into the kitchen, and to the left there's a fridge, pantry, pots and pans, a stove, gas stove, and then turning across here, you've got your sink, which looks out through these windows into the courtyard. And I've placed a heater here, which is also doubles as a cooker, a wood heater. So I wanted it between these two spaces, the kitchen and the living room, so customers can cook but also watch the fire. As for the living room, this is a coffee table here and a rug, those two squares. Just sofa and perhaps two or three armchairs, looking out directly out through these French doors onto the courtyard again. On the east side, there's those three windows. All three serve a purpose. The first one is I thought this little corner would be a nice reading room. So the easterly light would come in through here over your shoulder and highlighting the book, and the north light is sort of hid coming from the front. So I've just noticed that little pockets like that are quite cozy and comfortable. The second window is for the writing desk, because this is where the next famous War and Peace is to be penned. And the third window is for the bedroom or the bed, to give you that perspective. So now, speaking of beds, you'll notice that there's two beds there, and this is a bit of a quandary for me because I wanted to target predominantly couples, or I assume couples are going to be the ones that would come up for a weekend here, and then have the option for them with a second double bed for perhaps kids or for two couples. The question is it too open? Does it need to be closed in another room? Um, or would, say, two couples be comfortable sort of sharing an open space like this? And would a family, perhaps a couple with two young kids, be prepared to do the same? So I wasn't quite sure what to do with that. Uh, if we go across here, we'll see there's a little nook here for a bookshelf or something like that, a linen cupboard, and a little walkway through here, and you walk into a very large walk-in wardrobe. And I thought this might be a nice space because you've got baggage and luggage and stuff like that. It's nice to sort of throw that out of the way, and it doesn't clutter your living area. It also acts, this space also acts as a bit of a buffer for the bathroom, which I don't like to have it opening up into the main room. Now, I'll give you a bit, and then there's a battery and storeroom. That's for the batteries to run the house, and that's obviously not for the customer. Just give you an idea of what it looks like inside. So from this first place where you sit and read, this is what you would see. And what I've got is timber ceiling, perhaps exposed beams as well. Not sure about that yet. Concrete walls, and one of the walls, whether it's this one or one of the other ones, I'll soften it by using timber on it as well. And then a stone, some form of stone on the floor that's easy to maintain, and also gives it that sort of natural rustic look. That door there is the entry from the mudroom, so you walk into the kitchen there at that point of view. If we have a look, if you're in bed, place my new camera here. If you're in bed looking out, this is kind of what you're seeing. You're looking through those two French doors onto the patio and then out into the view, and you can also see the kitchen and stuff. The idea was to make it not too conventional, by making it cozy without it being cluttered. So that's one of the questions. Do you think it's cozy enough, or is it too much stuff in there being like that? Um, Again, so the view walking in from the kitchen, looking out, is pretty simple sort of setup. And again, the idea of it being quite cozy. And as I said, you can cook on that little wood heater. Simple lights, a couple of fans or ceiling fans. As for the walk-in robe, I will just place new camera just here looking there. So you walk in, I wasn't sure to here actually in the entrance whether to put another door. I kind of didn't want to because it's cluttered, so perhaps a curtain might be a better option. Um, just don't want doors, it's just a hassle. No real advantage, although it would maintain the heat better with it. Anyway, this storage space is just simple. Just hangers there, bit of shelving on top, and perhaps a cabinet too. Otherwise, they'd simply put their suitcases on the ground there. If I walk backwards into the bathroom, very simple pedestal basin because it's easy to clean, and I don't like cabinets and stuff. It's just a hassle. Although I'll have a little standalone cabinet, you can just see it there. And then behind me is a shower that you would just walk into. Simple, Spartan, is the order of the day. So overall, the question is it sort of, does that arrangement suit four people, or is it just impractical? It's really it's for two people. And the other thing I'll just show you briefly. And this courtyard, as I said, I'd make the courtyard, let's new camera here, just put it there. The outside can actually complement the house, and so the idea is these French doors, wooden shutters again because of the fire rating, across there. Bit of plants, vegetations, barbecue and stuff, all contained for pet friendly, also accessible for wheelchairs and stuff. So it's quite easy. And then you do get a slight view of the solar panels, but not overly obvious. Okay, that's the idea. If you've got any tips and pointers, I'd appreciate them. Thank you.